6 Habits for Healthy Finances. I'm here with Kate McCallum, financial advisor and author of the book, The Joy of Money. Kate, I'm wondering if you can share with us some tips that we can know to have a healthy finance.
I would love to, because I'm a big fan of small steps. And that's really just about creating daily or weekly habits that help you get closer to goals. Because goals can quite often be, quite distant or quite hard to get your hands around.
Overwhelming and daunting, but you're going to break it down for us in these 6 tips.
Exactly. So my favourite 6 tips are these. The first one's really important, and that's pay yourself first. Now, if you think about what most people do, is they spend first and they save what's left over. But of course, that's a little dangerous. And it's much, much better to set yourself a savings target, put that money away, and then you get to spend what's left over. And so just save every week or every month, and it can build up over time.
Well, that's a very freeing tip.
Yeah, I'm glad you like that one.
What's the next one that you have?
The second one is to use super. Now, a lot of people say, super's so boring, but super is actually a really, really exciting low-tax environment in which to save. And it's also a lovely way of looking after not only yourself now, but looking after your future self.
Your future self will thank you. What about number 3?
Number 3 is make sure that you automate and accelerate the bill payments. So I don't know about you, but I used to get my bills in and then I'd log on and then I'd pay them off one by one, and inevitably I'd end up with a late payment fee. And if there is anything I hate, it's late payment fees. So if you set up an automatic direct debit and just do it so it pays it fairly early, and that way you've got room to move and it's just so much less stressful.
But less stress is what we're all here for. What about the next one?
The next one is to make sure that you set up a special savings account. So for your savings, you want a separate account to your normal transaction account. And if you can, create some way that it's a little bit trickier to get into it so you don't unnecessarily dip into your savings.
I like that one. So Kate, tell us what tip number 5 is.
Cut up your credit card.
Oof.
Look, get a debit card instead, because at least that way it's only the money that's actually in your bank account that you can spend. So you minimise the risk that you're going to rack up a whole lot of expensive credit that could take you years to pay off.
That's a good one. All right, tell us about tip number 6.
The tip number 6, our final tip, is to make sure you build your skills. And this is really important because as women, we need to make sure that we have the option of sustainable income over our life plans. So I really, really encourage particularly mums to make sure that you're building your skills. Sign up for an online course. Just, do some study every day, every week. Now, you might say to me, I don't have any time, not with a toddler in tow. But think about it. If you could just set aside 10 minutes a day, that's over an hour a week. It's over 50 hours a year. And that can really, really, truly add up over time.
And how does this, having this skill set help us in the long run with our finances?
It's really important, I think, to keep building skills, because if you let your skills lapse, it's highly unlikely that you're going to keep up with where employment is at. And what we want, particularly as women, is sustainable income over our lifetimes. And, as women, we often have breaks in our careers. And so being able to be re-employed at a point in time that we want is super, super important. And so building your skill set, I believe, is particularly important for women.
Thanks so much for these tips. If you're looking for more tips like this, join us on our website, mumsathetable.com.